We're only 27 games into the Sabres season, but I feel like I'm trapped in like Groundhog's Day or the Truman Show. I don't really know because I haven't seen either of those movies, but it feels like every single time the Sabres have a couple wins, they have the worst game you could ever possibly imagine to watch, folks. Welcome back to Gatesy's Win More, Lots More, presented by Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel. And after rattling off back-to-back wins, your Buffalo Sabres played so bad. That was 5-2 to the Philadelphia Flyers, and this wasn't like a bad game where they got outshot 7,000-0 and it was just mice versus men. The Sabres just shot themselves in the foot all game long. You know, there was some officiating stuff that we'll talk at the very end, which, you know, isn't the reason the Sabres lost this game. They lost this game because every possible mistake they could have made, they chose it. All their goals happened because they did dumb things. It's so frustrating because the past two games, they played well. You have Josh Norris back. The vibes are feeling good. And then they take dumb penalties. Then they can't get pucks out of the zone. They can't kill a penalty off anymore. Like, that's not the part of it. But, you know, the big thing, too, is what's goalie interference anymore? I see a lot of people trying to compare, you know, what's goalie interference to, you know, what's a catch to the NFL. The difference is, in the NFL, we have 70,000 cameras, you know, zoomed into the mitochondria of the guy's arm, seeing the minute cell of the grass blade, and we have a checklist of things they need to hit. For goalie interference, we're basically watching from like some guy's Nokia in the 300 level, trying to zoom in and can't see anything. And it's tough too because it's so ticky-tacky, and hockey's obviously a very different game than the NFL. But you rarely see, I mean, especially this year, these calls don't go the Sabres' way, but it's very tough because in the NFL too, you have challenges. You have two of them. You get one wrong, you still got another one, and two, you just lose a timeout as your punishment. The NHL, if you challenge a goal like that, you're getting a penalty. That's the Sabres' fault where, you know, I don't think this is a goal. I mean, Colten Ellis' blocker gets hit with the guy's stick before the puck gets past him. I don't know if he's going to save that anyway, though. With how he played in the first half of the game, I don't really know. But you can't expect like to win that challenge if you're the Sabres, in my opinion. I don't think there was enough there that they could have gotten that. And that's kind of the mistake because they challenge it, they don't overturn it. Now they're killing again, and the Flyers score then, right after. It's like 30 seconds in between. The Sabres go from winning 1-0 to being down 2-1 in a crazy swing. I mean, yeah, it would have been awesome if they overturned it. The Sabres had a 1-0 lead. They would probably cruised to a big win tonight. Who knows? But that is just, it can't happen. And I get people are mad at Lindy Ruff for challenging. I mean, I don't think it was the right time. And again, it just wasn't enough to overturn. But him and Sean McDermott are 0% on their challenges. I can't remember a single time any of them have won any of them. So yeah, NHL-wise though, there are people that are smarter than I am who can figure out maybe, like, obviously a power play isn't a guaranteed goal, but it's a tough swing where you just think, if we have an idea. If it's close on what goalie interference is, maybe we look at it. NFL, every scoring play is reviewed. And they do that pretty quick. It's rarely a time where we take time out of the game. And when it is, they would have challenged it anyway. Maybe on these close ones, we just get a good look at it, double check, make sure that's all good to go. Nope. But yeah, first two goals, that's what happens. Third goal for the Sabres, it happens. The first three goals for the Flyers, I'm getting so frustrated thinking about this, happened in a minute span. Their first three goals in 1 minute. The Sabres go from winning 1-0. They have a 1-0 lead. 1 minute goes by. They're down 3-1. That can't happen. You can't give up two goals quickly like that. And the manner they did, and then have a terrible turnover in your own zone. I guess it's not terrible. Zach Benson goes for a breakout. Pass gets deflected. But the terrible part is Tage Thompson, your leader, your guy that's kind of taken the reins recently. He's scoring again. He had that fight sticking up for himself. Good things. That's what you want from your top guys, from your leadership. He doesn't stop on the puck after it gets deflected. That was going to him. He does a big loop in the neutral zone and doesn't take a single stride back in. And you know that goal goes in because he does a back check to a guy. Wide open goal. Now it's 3-1. The Sabres have to dig themselves out a massive hole from that point on. What you're asking is way too much out of from this team. You're on the road. You can't win on the road anyway. The fourth goal, we'll just go through all the goals they gave up and how they shot themselves in the foot. They were shorthanded for it. I mean, the goal went in, they were 5-on-5, but they were killing a penalty. It went in like 2 seconds later. They can't, like, their PK has been great all season. It's been their strong suit. So you're bound to have a game where it gets torn to shreds. It just sucks. It happens in a game where everything else is going bad for them. And the fifth goal, it makes me so mad too, because, after that last goal, it's 4-1 Flyers. The Sabres score. Bowen Byram, who's had a lot of success scoring downhill on that right side of the ice. Good for him. Goals in back-to-back games. Love that. Raises trade value too. NHL GMs, watch that play, please. But a minute after that, less than a minute, Flyers score again. It's because of a dumb mistake in the D zone from the Sabres, where firstly, they can't get the puck out. You have a turnover on a breakup between Timmins and Quinn. Puck stays in the zone. Awesome. You can't make a pass all night. Why is that going to change now? And then Ryan McLeod overcommits. Yes, behind the goal line. We have 3 Sabres below the goal line and a wide open Flyer in front of the net. Who do you think gets the puck here, and who do you think scores? Surprise. The last thing that shoots him in the foot, the Dahlin penalty. We'll talk about this on a kind of a bigger scope too. Knox hits Zegras in the boards from behind. Zegras goes down. And the whistle happens. He gets up. Fine. Dahlin initially gets a 2-minute penalty for this, which, that's a 2-minute penalty in my book. Then it gets elevated to a 5, which I'm not too sure why it did. Zegras was perfectly okay. He had to miss 3 seconds of the power play because he had to get off the ice because they ruled him he was hurt on the initial play. So he gets off the ice for the face-off and then immediately gets right back on the ice, and the guy just goes right to the bench. And the Sabres without Dahlin for a good chunk of that game from there on out. Without him, he was kicked out of the game. And Sabres couldn't afford that. They're already down. But yeah, this game was just so frustrating. And I want to just sweep it under the rug because it's everything that went wrong could have. And, you're very rarely going to have this happen. It's going to happen over the course of the season that everything that could go wrong for this team does. But it just continues to happen after they find some success. So it's really hard just to give the benefit of the doubt of, it's hockey. It happens. Because it can't. Because they have success. And they have the skill. And when they just do things right, they play in the system. They just play hard. They need to play hard. They need to be responsible in their own end. Very simple stuff. Not having turnovers in your own end. Getting pucks out at the blue line. Winning your blue line battles. They're not doing that. They're not doing it at all. And the Benson score at the end. We got called back because offsides and control the puck in the zone. You got to control your blue lines, and they're not doing it. At least tonight. And yeah, it sucks. Colten Ellis too. I forgot to talk about that. He stopped 30 of 35 on the night. I think I've said it before on these post-game shows. I'll say it again. I'm over the Colten Ellis experiment. I haven't really seen anything yet. I'm we should continue down this route. He had a couple of good games in the stretch, but he doesn't look great. You watch him, he doesn't really pass any eye tests. He makes some cool saves here and there, give him props, but he has a lot of holes when he moves. And when he gets exposed by teams, he gets exposed. We saw that in this game today where he let in 5 goals on the first 17 shots he faced tonight. Granted, he stopped the last 18, which is good. He does, really ramp up his game toward the end. But the Sabres feel like they have to cover for him a lot when they're winning games too, so I don't know. He hasn't shown me anything. I'm this is worth continuing this 3-goalie system right now. But yeah, I guess we'll see what they end up doing. They play Friday in Winnipeg, a team that is going to be very excited to try to beat the brakes off the Sabres after they just played a couple days ago. The Sabres beat them so bad they had a players-only meeting. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I imagine UPL is going to start in that one over Alex Lyon. UPL played well last game, so I can hope. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this game sucked to watch because the product on the ice wasn't, my favorite thing ever in the world. The Sabres, had a good run in the second period, some good stretches here and there, but they found their times to shoot themselves in the foot. Good teams find ways in moments to, capitalize on a chance they're given. The Sabres do the exact polar opposite of that. And anytime they can find a chance to make their lives worse and to give up a goal, they do it in games like this. But that was very frustrating to watch, and it was even more frustrating because the TNT announcers, oh my God, were they annoying. Like, I get we're not getting Marty and Razor and the whole crew on national broadcast games, of course. But, I don't know how many times I can hear the Sabres haven't made the playoffs since 2011, because they said it 7,000 times tonight that they haven't made the playoffs in 14 years. I think we get the point. Everything they said about the Sabres wasn't good, which is understandable. They're losing to the Flyers. The team has been what it has been. But you could find something to talk about that isn't, classic Sabres, turnovers in their own end. I don't want a puff piece on the Sabres. The game was shit. But from the get-go, there wasn't anything. I would have rather listened to the Flyers broadcast than the TNT. I'm not looking for them to say this team is awesome, great things. But you have your largest market that watches your product in Buffalo. Maybe throw the fans a bone that they want to watch your product on Wednesdays going forward when the team isn't playing. There's nothing there. I get the Sabres are the punching bag of the league, but holy hell, at least your play-by-play guy can say something once in a while. But no, hey, it's been since 2011, obviously. I said a bunch of folks, if you're still watching, thank you for watching this team night in, night out.